Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with my new series, Leftovers to Layouts, where I am taking all the leftover this and that from different collections, paper pads and such, and trying to get them used. So today's is from Hip Kit. It is my very first Hip Kit I got, I think, August 2022. I have packaging that I want to use up because these are really neat. They're also good for journaling, but that's not what I'm looking at for this layout. I do have some scraps, tons of embellishments. The floral embellishment kit was delayed, so it came after I was pretty much done with everything in this collection, so I couldn't use much. But I have two of these little frayed borders and some scallop borders, handful of scraps. I have these thicker embellishments, and then I have some word phrases, these puffy phrases, summer, relax, sunny. And then these ones that say by the pool. I have something for those in the future, so I'm not going to use those today, but I probably will do another, whether I do a video or not, I don't know, but I do have ideas. So, but I do have lots of that background striped paper, some little bitty scraps. I have some words from the embellishment kit. You know what? I didn't use that pool, and I might have to pull that out and find it. We'll see. I'm going to use this off-white paper, and I know that this is predominantly white-based, but there's such a small amount of what I have, and what I have planned for this off-white paper, it doesn't affect it at all. So I have 5 different colors of Distress Oxide by Tim Holtz, and I want to use those on my layout in one way or another. I'm kind of got an idea in my head, but it's super random. So I have these pictures of my kids and their dad, and then just them together, and then one of my daughter, my son, and my nephew. So I'm going to put 2 on one page and 3 on the other. I want them to be facing. So I've got my papers, my embellishments, my leftovers, my pictures, mixed media. So let's see how this goes. So like I said, I have no real clue what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. So put some washi on the back because I do know I want this layout to be like a 12 by 24. I don't do this very often, but this was what I decided I wanted to do. So just take my ink pads and I'm going to smear them across. I'm not worried about contaminating because the little bit of contamination I was able to wipe off and is not a problem. So I have 5 different colors. The first color I used is Spiced Marmalade. Then that yellow above it is Mustard Seed. And then down below, I'm going to use Fossilized Amber and Dried Marigold. And then this beauty is Salvage Patina, which is absolutely one of my favorites. Anything greeny colored, especially when it's like this teal bluey green, makes my heart so happy. Orange is not my color, but you know, this turns out I pulled orange and yellow because of this collection. So I am tapping out Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide Spray. And then I am going to, after I let that sit a little, I get my Tim Holtz mini spritzer and I spray where the droplets are. So it gives it that watery look, which of course, since I'm doing a pool layout, is very fitting. And I love the way that it looks. And then I took my paper towel roll and just kind of soaked up anything extra. So there is my light. Now, of course, right now it's upside down because I am putting on the little fringe. Now, they are not identical. I do not care. One is like a grass skirt and the other one's got like a pattern in it. I'm perfectly fine with that. They're going to be separated enough in the album because it's a not a bound book. It is a 3-ring binder. But either way, I mean, it doesn't need to be exactly the same. I guess I could have cut it up and kind of did a little of each, but I am perfectly happy with this. So I have used 4 of my scraps up by matting my pictures. 2 of them are on that packaging, and then the 2 of them are on like an orangey colored background paper, and then 1 is on a blue and light colored background. And so I ink some of those with what's left over on my blue ink pad, which I believe is probably Chip Sapphire. That seems to be my go-to. So I have this fun and the word sun, and I want to use those just as a little something extra. I have an idea for my title with those puffy words, but I wanted to get these on here too. And there is still a plus sign on my puffies. So I decided to use that with these words and do fun and sun on the bottom. And then with the puffies, I put sunny summer on either side of the layout. And so now I'm just embellishing. And for right this minute, I am still attached. I think both of my layouts are still attached, but I am going to get those off in just a minute. I put down those little scallops. I decided not to ink them because I thought I might at first, but I really don't necessarily want them to take anything away from the rest of the layout. So for now, well, not for now, but they are not inked. I feel like they stand out enough. So I take off the washi so that I can work on one layout at a time. And I have learned that you've got to do this carefully because even though the washi is not the best and does not stick great, it will tear your paper if you're not careful. So, all right. So I am going to start with my left layout and set the right one right over to my side. So I can keep an eye on it and look at it for reference, but I wanted to work on one at a time. It makes it a little easier. So I'm going to put this little embellishment that says best summer activities down here right underneath my son, who is face first in the water swimming. He is a fish, both him and his sister. They love the water. They are not scared of the water, never really have been. As soon as they jump in the deep end, they are done, and that is it. They are fish. So I built a cluster down here by the word fun with a flower and just another little embellishment. I built a little cluster up on the top of the farthest left picture. And it just has this little, it's like a woven, see, I've thrown away all that packaging. I can't remember what they're called, but it's like woven. It's like a material. Everything's material, Kristen. It's like a fabric. And it says summer on it. And so I just took a little pink flower behind that. And I'm going to do something kind of similar to the other side. And then while this is not the right color to look like a splash, I felt like this little peachy colored thing I tuck in behind my son's picture looks like a splash. And I put it right over where all that watery drops are underneath the word sunny. So I like the way that worked out. And then I put a floral and a little leafy bit here underneath the picture of my daughter as an extra little embellishment area. And also I am going to put a little phrase that says summer is the best vacation right here above my nephew. And that is the majority of what I'm going to do down here at the bottom. However, I'm really wanting to do something. My original thought was up in the top left corner right underneath that fringe. But then I decide I want to put it over here and then put the other part of it on the right layout. So I take this bluish colored leaf and then this teal aqua kind of almost minty colored leaf and then this pink flower. And then of course once that sets and dries, I use Nuvo Deluxe adhesive on it. I am going to cut that. And then I put this snorkel and mask right underneath the best summer activities, although my son is not wearing a snorkel because he doesn't need that anymore in his life. He's such a grown-up. Mind you, this was 6 years ago, I think. But anyway, he doesn't care. He's gonna... he just sticks his face in there. But I thought that fit there really well and covers up that empty space that looks like you're supposed to, like, put a date or something. So then I bring out my right layout and I'm going to build this little cluster up here at the top first so that I can put it right next to the left. And even though, like I said, they won't be right next to each other because there's that gap between the layouts in a spiral or in a 3-ring binder, that I still want it to be as close as possible. So when it's laying down next to it, it looks like it's connected. So I love the way that turned out. It makes me very happy. I'm not a huge fan of a bunch of empty space, even when it's colored in with ink. So I'm going to do, like I said, very similar things to what I did on the left layout. I put a little circular woven piece that says, let's celebrate summer together, with a little flower behind it. I put a floral and a leaf down there between the two pictures. And then I also put like a little, like a van that says, let the summer feeling or something like that. So here is the left layout, and I will show you the right. Below, there's going to be in the description box, there'll be a list of anybody who told me that they wanted to hop along this month. I don't know when anybody's creating, so go check them out. I'm really excited to see how other creators are using up their leftover bits and creating layouts with them. So I am thrilled that people wanted to join me on this adventure. I love the way these turned out. So I hope you'll come back again. Like I said, I'll be here off and on throughout the entire month, as well as some other creatives who are below. And I hope that you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Use your stash. Have a great day and happy scrapping.